And we live. Hey. Welcome to another episode of Sleazy Sports. And today I'm joined by the tactician, master tactician. Onke,
Ah,
what's happening, King?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good, bro. I thought when you'd save United, bro. You'd save my club, though. If they will
Never.
hire you, if they'd hire you as a director of football, do you
N-
think you'd excel? Nah.
Nah. United needs. It needs a lot, but
Age.
United most importantly needs a coach
Yeah,
that is going to not because I think what happened is United thought they needed a coach who's a disciplinarian,
yeah.
and they got that coach and realized he's not a master tactician. You know,
Age.
initially they got Ole as a coach who's going to, to get the players to
Yeah.
love the brand again and all of that. So United was a lot more fun during that time, whereas during the Jose days there was a lot of discipline, but players didn't like the coach,
Yeah.
so they would act up basically. So they were trying. So they're always trying to change the state of how things are ran at the club, not necessarily how the club plays football. And look at what they've done is they've spent so much money in trying to support Ten Hag. A new director comes in. The director is going to be like, yeah, I don't know why you bought these players. You could have bought for the price of Mount. You could have got Florian Wirtz. You could have gotten another
Mm.
player, for Ulendo, who's this boy? For Hoyland, you could have
Yeah.
gotten maybe Kolomuani, a
Yeah.
much more established striker. That type of thing, those type of things. So it's, I don't think it's a director's thing, because even the next coach is gonna want to have a say,
Mm.
because that's the culture at United. Coaches become directors. So if the next coach wants to have a say, then you guys are basically gonna stay in the same. Because if he has a say, it means the players you have now won't be playing,
Yeah.
or some of them will not actually fit to that coach's style. And the other
Yeah.
question is, what style suits these players? Because you heard what Tenak said. He said he doesn't play the way he played at Ajax,
Yeah.
because the style at Ajax suited those players.
Mm-hmm.
These current players are not suited by that style. So he plays a more direct style of football to accommodate those players. But then the question comes in to say, but you've been recruiting players from Ajax and
Hey, my
players that
guy.
you have played with. So how
Mm.
is your style of football not implementable when you already bought these players that you've coached before, that know exactly what you want? I
Mm.
mean, that should be much easier. But yeah, he's got his excuse and he's sticking to it. He can't
Hey.
coach your team, he can't coach your players in the style of Ajax. He has to
Mm-hmm.
play a different style. So, but the thing people don't realize is that Ajax had a discernible style of football,
Yeah.
and they recruited based on that style. They wanted high technicality
Hundred
in terms of
percent.
players. They play possession total football. Before Ten Hag was even an Ajax coach, they've always
Mm.
played that style of football. So Ten Hag just came into a culture that played a football a certain way. And now people think that it was Ten Hag who coached those players to play that way. No, that's just the way Ajax plays football. That's how they are taught to play
Yeah.
football. So, it's one of those things. Now we're actually seeing Ten Hag's own tactical, you know, um, plans outside of
Hundred
Ajax.
percent.
And yeah,
Uh,
there's no way to
and
hide now. There's nowhere
as
to hide.
as it on my king, I won't lie to you. Um, hindsight is 2020. Nah.
Yeah.
I'll start off by saying that disclaimer number one. Hindsight is 2020. When Ten Hag came in, we lost our first, I think, two games or three.
Yeah, I
It
think
was
three.
peak. Big new one. It was
Yeah.
sharp.
Brentford.
Amafonili,
Hey.
Brentford. Then we signed Cass. And then all of a sudden, we stabilized.
Yeah.
We started playing. I think Ten Hag switched up his tactics in the sense that he didn't make us as expensive as we are now, and kept it tight and close. Yeah, well, and then of course we went on those runs, crazy runs. Shabo Barcelona, teams that we hardly beat, dog. Like it's my first time since 2008 when Paul Scholes scored that screamer. For me,
Yeah.
that was like the last time I remember us beating
Yeah, it
Barca.
is the last
Other
time. It
than
was the last time.
yeah, well, other than that, it's been his part of non-stop. So I got sold, bro, to the project. And then we won the Carabao Cup. Yes, it's not a big trophy, but for him to get us to the final, in my eyes, I'm like, okay, him and our Plymouth Orlando Pirates, they're similar in the sense that they're winning trophies, and then
Yeah.
of course it's Team Say, boy. This for me, the decline started, I think, right after when Rashford's goals started drying up. That's where
Yes.
I started not seeing us play it. I just saw us go back to default settings,
The thing
hero
is,
ball. Yeah,
yeah, the thing is, even during that streak where
yeah,
Rashford was scoring, you
yeah,
guys were not playing great. You guys were getting away with bad performances because your defense was solid.
yeah.
Varane and who's this? And the
Licha.
Butcher were basically,
Yeah,
yeah, they were playing well. Shaw was also playing very well in that
yeah,
stretch. And I remember Uti, it would be basically like find Rashford, on a
yeah,
counter because you guys absorb all the pressure, and then find Rashford on the counter because you're playing a low block basically. Then find Rashford on the counter. Rashford runs onto goal because he's very good one-on-one. Goal,
yeah,
and then it's a win. Or find Casemiro on a set piece. I think he scored more than 5 goals last season, from set
yeah,
plays. Find Casemiro on a set play, and then that's a goal. That pretty much is your Carabao run as well. Your Carabao run was
yeah.
very much similar, and you were playing none of the top teams because you didn't win a single game against the top 9 last season as well. And top 9 doesn't count Chelsea because we were always 10 and below.
Nah, bro, we did win a few games. We beat Liverpool at Old Trafford. We just had a very strong home record, dog. We weren't bad at home. We were
You
good at
beat
home.
Liverpool, ne? Yeah,
Yeah,
wait, you beat
2-1.
Liverpool. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Did you
When
beat Arsenal?
Sancho, we beat Arsenal at home.
You beat
We beat
Arsenal, ne? Yeah,
Tottenham.
I remember the
Yeah.
Arsenal one.
Yeah, it's only City that, City. Let's not even go there. But now, when Liverpool, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's true. So the thing is though, you didn't face those teams in the cup competitions, and
yeah,
as a result, you're able to make that run, and then you met Newcastle in the final, and it's still Newcastle, So you beat
yeah.
them, and if you look at the manner in which you beat them, it was the same. Who scored in the final? Was it Casemiro or Rashford?
It was Cass
Was
and it was Cass. Yeah, it was Cass.
So it was the same thing. It was during that run. Then
Mm.
Martinez got injured, and then you didn't have a ball playing defender anymore to
Yeah.
assist your midfield, because where Kaz lacked in terms of playing the ball, Martinez was
Mm-hmm.
good. So Kaz could win the ball, give it to Martinez or give it to Eriksen, and then they were able to start moves for Man United, which
Yeah.
worked great. You don't have Martinez now.
Yeah.
Eriksen is in and out of the team, and he's not playing a similar role because he's fighting with Mount for his position. So he's having to
Yeah.
advance himself a lot to try to be supportive and play on the front foot, basically. Whereas last season he was playing deeper, sort of a double six. So he was closer to Kaz. So when Kaz won the ball, he would always provide support, and then he would start moves as well. And then Bruno would be able to play the 10. But this season, what you've done is you've sort of taken Bruno to the right. Taking Bruno
Yeah.
to the
Which
right
is weird.
isolates him for most games, because Bruno is not a 1v1 player. He's not going to beat anyone. He doesn't have a lot of speed as well. So when he gets the ball, he's always trying to look ahead and find someone to pass, because that's the football he knows how to play. But you're playing him away from the midfield, and then you put Scott McTominay in that midfield now, who's not a great passer, who can run and drive and do all these things just like Mason Mount, but outside of, like, say, a goal threat that he possesses, there's nothing else he's going to offer you in a game. And he got a great chance, hit a nice shot, but it was
Yeah,
basically straight to Edison. It was basically
yeah,
straight to Edison. Edison saved it, and that was basically the best moment he had in that game. But if you look at the game itself, he can't influence it. He's great at pressing, like he can win the ball in the forward areas. I think Vardiol was making a few mistakes in that game.
yeah,
That could have been punished, especially earlier on, and then turnovers would get forced. But as soon as City settled into the game, I mean, it was Stones was running circles around them. Your midfield. I'm like, Stones. The plan should be, let's press Stones of all people. When he has the ball, we must make sure that we win it. We must force City to play with 10 men, basically. Force Rodri to have to play two positions at the same time. You know, at least let's come up with a plan for how we're going to beat these guys when they have the ball. Because we're not going to get the ball from Grealish. He hardly loses the ball. We're not going to get the ball from Rodri. He hardly loses the ball. We're not going to get the ball from Bernardo. He hardly ever loses the ball. Maybe
yeah,
Foden, maybe Foden and Haaland, because they are much more attacking, and Alvarez.
yeah.
But even they are very clever with their decision making. They don't force things. They're not trying
Yep.
to beat three defenders. They pass back if they need to pass back. They'll make the run if they need to make the run. Like the way those guys play, you can tell they're well coached. Their mistakes are being coached out of them. You know, move the ball quick. When you need to hold on to the ball, hold on to the ball. But you have to be disciplined in how you use it. So if Grealish beats one player, he's not trying to overdo it. He doesn't mind recycling, taking the ball back, things like that. That's why they are able to play and sustain, pressure and possession and control over these long periods in the game where you feel like your team is just hanging in there, and then you get the ball, you try to rush the ball forward in the hope that, you can break them. And it can work, but it's not a great tactic. And I think for me, the biggest red flag is when
Yeah.
Ten Hag said the reason he didn't play Varane was tactical. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, bona.
You played that game. You played that game with three centre backs. You had
Dude.
Evans, Maguire, and Lindelof. All of them are centre backs. Are you telling me tactically you could not find a single defender that Varane could replace in terms of quality from these three?
Dude.
Tactically, I no. You
Dude.
guys are you guys are in serious trouble. My team
Yeah.
is not that. It's not better, but
But
our
mhm.
troubles are so different.
But as
Our
well,
troubles are so different. I never watch Chelsea and think, we are playing bad. I watch
yeah,
Chelsea and think we are horrible in the final third. We are
yeah,
struggling to break teams down. But I've said this so many times. But this has been Poch's problem ever since he coached Spurs. Even at Southampton, it's easier to beat teams when they are open. When they are
very,
open and they are trying to attack you, Poch is great at beating those teams or trying to beat those teams. Like the way we played against Arsenal, great
yeah,
game. We were so excellent in that game. We let it go at the end. Could have easily won that game. The way we played against Liverpool, could have easily won that game. When we play the big teams, because we're going to get the space to play, we play better. When we play the smaller teams that don't offer us any space to play, especially in
yeah,
their final third, we make hella mistakes. We are horrible at our
yeah,
decision making, and we just don't have that final cutting edge. Then when we concede, our shoulders drop because we realize we are not able to get through this team. For example, we were playing crosses like for most of the game against a team that is stronger than us aerially. Like That's a horrible tactic. This team is great in the air. That's what they do. They win headers. So if we want to beat this team, we can't play to their strengths. We need to play to their weaknesses, and that to me is a technical issue that Poch has. He's
Yeah,
always going to have it as a coach. He had it at PSG as well. He never could plan. He never could arrange an attack to say he knows how to make a team solid. Doesn't
yeah.
know how to make a team dynamic.
Oh,
And
yeah,
and that's a problem when you're trying to win football games, because being solid is fine, but if you have no dynamism, you don't have any creativity, those final touch moves, you're depending on the individual quality of your Cole Palmers, of your Raheem Sterlings to do something, to pull a rabbit out of the hat. It's very, very difficult, and results won't come that way. Unfortunately,
yeah,
they won't. So our problems are different. Your
yeah. They
problems are not
are.
even are not even about creating. It's about style. You
Yeah,
don't
it's
have
about.
identity. It's so difficult to watch you guys play football. It's like, yo,
Mm,
so these guys
we,
are just gonna play by running at the other team when they have the ball, because they can't slow their football down. You guys
yeah,
can't.
we
Once you
can't.
slow down, you have no out. You don't have a plan for what you're gonna do, and then Hoyland is gonna struggle to score goals.
He
He
is, bro.
genuinely
Then
is.
you, yeah, then you find people criticizing him, bro, while he's being starved. I mean, we're not
Look,
creating any
we
chance
have the
for him.
same problem with Jackson. Jackson didn't get a single opportunity in front of goal, but everyone is attacking him and saying Chelsea needs a striker. I'm like, okay, who's gonna pass that striker? You could put Hoyland in that team. If you're not creating, you can put Haaland in that team. If you're not creating, the striker is not going to get anything. And we see
Yeah,
this even with Man City. In the games where Haaland was struggling to score goals, Man City was struggling to create.
yeah,
So
that's true.
that's the thing. And number nine is only as good as the amount of football that is played in the box for him to
Yep.
score.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a waste of time. The two best chances that game fell to Cucurella.
Yeah.
And
I
what
mean,
did he
and
do?
I mean, and the reason Cucurella had space is because the defense was tracking the striker. That's why they were not able to see Cucurella. And yes, he should have scored, but it goes back to that, to say we're gonna say Chelsea's creating all these chances. Who are these chances falling to? Some of our best
Yeah.
chances fell to Ben Chilwell. Some of the best chances now are falling to Cucurella. These are not the guys that are trusted to score goals, unfortunately, in games. So
Mm.
we are going to continuously have these problems of, we need a striker that scores goals. They're not going to score goals from out of nowhere. They need to be supplied with goals, and that's a big challenge that we have right now, where we had that game where we scored 4 goals before the international break, and then the
Hmm.
confidence went up. But I think the international break for us came at a horrible time. We needed that
Yeah.
momentum to continue. The Arsenal game, had we won that game, I think we would have carried some swagger, some confidence, some overconfidence. The fact that we didn't, it sort of it played to the psyche of the team, and
Yeah.
you can see it. And then we lost Enzo and Mudrik as well, who had been playing so well. We
Yeah.
were so close to finding something that works as far as that's concerned. And then Noni is down on confidence, and then also we're playing a team that has a low block, and then we add a defender. Even though against Arsenal we're playing a traditional four,
Yeah.
we're not really playing a traditional four, but we basically had Cucurella, and then Reese late in the game. In this game, Gusto was back. Gusto's red card is he's done with the suspension. He's back and he's fit. Reese wasn't fit, which is fine. Why not play
Oh,
Cucurella on the
yeah.
left, Reese on the right? They add our attacking numbers. Instead, you want to play 3 defenders still.
Hey, dude.
So yeah, it's frustrating. With Chelsea, the frustrations are different. But
Yeah.
because we are chilling in the same area, yeah, we
It's
are basically.
consoling, man. I ain't gonna lie. In school, it's not nice being in trouble alone, dog. It's nice when
I
you're
guess,
squad. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
consoling.
I guess, yeah. I guess this is me and Liverpool last season around this time, because remember
Yeah.
Liverpool was in 10th for the longest time last season,
Yeah, they
and then they
were.
recovered, from
And at
January,
the
started
end.
winning games. Yes, started stringing. No,
Yeah.
even in fact, there was a month they didn't score a single goal. I think it was
Yeah.
Feb. They didn't score a single goal. So yeah, this season is gonna be difficult, for different reasons. We are in a rebuild. You guys are having
Yeah.
difficulties for different reasons,
Yeah,
and
100%.
unfortunately, you already thought that you had the right coach. I think you got that wrong. I think you were beaten by Aston Villa as far as identifying a good coach. Aston Villa identified a great coach
Yo,
in Unai
and then
Emery.
yeah, and
A
bro,
great
Aston
coach.
Villa. But besides that, dog, the signings that they make, there's a lot of the players that would start at Man United,
But
like
look how much
literally
they cost. But look how much they
peanuts,
cost. Look,
peanuts.
because
Oh,
they were not looking for players that were,
Marquee. Like even look
yes,
at Musa Diaby, Danga.
Musa
Instant
Diaby.
impact,
Yeah.
instant impact.
And look where he plays, in a position Man United has been struggling for a long time. Right
Yeah,
wing. You
right
guys have
wing.
Anthony. You guys have Anthony there. Musa
We've got
Diaby didn't
the
cost anything near what Anthony cost. And he's much more effective.
hey
Look
dude,
at
and
Ollie
Anthony
Watkins.
stinks.
Look at
Oh,
Ollie Watkins. He's a
yeah.
monster, a beast of
And
a
he's
striker.
scoring, bro. And he's
Yes.
scoring. Like he's
Look at
finishing.
Matip.
Yambo, it's not guesswork, bro. This guy knows what the fuck he's doing
He knows
at
what
his
he's doing.
point of goal.
He knows what he's doing. And if
Yeah.
we're being honest, if you look at that team, let's look at
Yeah.
the signings that have been impactful, ne? So let's add Pau Torres.
Mhm.
Everyone else in that defense was there. So Dino was there. Who's this black kid?
Konza.
Konza was there.
Yeah.
Cash was there.
Cash
You
was
look at
there,
their
yeah.
you look at their midfield.
Douglas Luiz. They bought him from
Douglas Luiz,
thingy. From
always been
the,
there.
no, it's
McGinn,
actually from Man City. You know that?
yes, but what I mean
Yeah.
is Unai found him there.
He found him there.
Yes, McGinn was found there.
Yeah.
Who's on the left?
Left.
How come I don't know the left winger?
Dude, Nami it's crazy. Because Bailey plays right. Him and Diaby, they interchange.
Yes, they play right. So
yeah, they play right.
Diaby is benching Bailey.
Yeah, he's benching. And you look at the level between both Diaby and Bailey. It's not significant at all.
It's not significant.
That's why you saw he scored. He always scores with Bailey, dog. Even in the Europa Conference League, he's scoring, fam, at will.
Meaning that he's also found a way to balance that squad. To say, bro, you have enough talent to continue to play. Is it Fornals? I think it's Fornals on the left.
Fornals, Pablo. Yeah.
It's Fornals. Yeah, it's Fornals on the left.
Did they buy him from West Ham? Aye, man. Fornals, Pablo, dude. And I mean, let's just check here online, dog. It will help us. I'm sorry. I have to know. Nami, it's bothering me, dog. It's really bothering me that I don't know. Villa's left wing.
And I really enjoy watching Villa. So I'm like,
dude,
how do I forget this?
Villa are amazing, but
brah,
they're amazing, dog. They're amazing. I watch all their games, dude. That's like my secondary team right now. Like, yo.
Look, I still enjoy Brighton, but I think Brighton right now are difficult to watch in a sense because teams realize they're not strong.
No, Emiliano. Yeah, he does, yeah. Yo.
So are you telling me Buendia plays on the left?
Wait.
Someone is missing. Buendia plays in midfield.
Is it Nico Zaniola? Because now
it's Zaniolo, yes.
Yeah, it's Zaniolo, the Italian.
Zaniolo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed watching him.
He's balling.
Buendia plays the 10. Because Buendia plays the 10, McGinn and Douglas Luiz play as a double 6.
Yeah, of course.
Jacob Ramsey is injured.
Even.
Jacob Ramsey is injured. I agree. But
Mm.
Pablo, why am I saying Pablo Fornals again?
Yeah, that's West Ham, dog.
Who's this? Zaniolo. Nico Zaniolo's been
Yeah,
playing on the left. Great
yeah,
player. He should be a midfielder. He's actually a midfielder naturally,
yeah.
but he's been playing on the left and he's been doing so great, especially on the half
Mm.
turn. Great player. Just doesn't
Great,
score enough. He needs to get
100%.
scoring.
And then
Great player. Great
even
player.
of course we mentioned even Luis. Luis has improved this season, bro, because he's added goals to
Ah,
his game now.
so, so,
Yeah,
so, so that is the point I wanted to make. To say
yeah,
Unai basically is using the exact same team.
yeah.
When you look at his starting 11, only 3 players are new. And if Jacob
Mm.
Ramsey was fit, only 2 players would be new. It would be Diaby,
Yeah.
and it would be who's this the defender. It would be Pau Torres. Only
Pau
two
Torres,
players,
yeah.
meaning that he took the exact same team Steven Gerrard had,
Yeah.
and he's been able to do all of this. The exact same team, and
But as
he
well,
has.
even and even his signings, man, even Yuri Tillemans, and I mean I like Kamara, bro. Boubacar Kamara is I
I
like
like Kamara.
CDMs like him. I like
Yeah,
CDMs
I
like
like
him,
Kamara,
bro. Yeah, like
and
those that
and
yeah,
I like the fact that it seems like he understands that because we are in 2 competitions, I've got a squad for the
yeah.
Europa League, I've got a squad for the
100%.
Premier League. So he can play Kamara and Tillemans for Europa League, and
Yeah,
your who's this and Bailey in the Europa League, and then in the Premier League, those guys are always fresh, so they are
yeah,
able to run. Their football. One thing I love is that Unai can play both styles. He can play
yeah,
slow build up, intricate play, and then he can play on the counter. So his football is well rounded in that sense. He's not that guy you're saying I only plays direct like Ten Hag.
yeah,
He can play it any type of way that he needs to play it. And imagine if he was in an environment that was as resourced as Man United, because
yeah,
Arsenal clearly slept on him. I believe Arsenal really slept on Unai. They
yeah. They did. They
they
didn't give him
lost
the
patience.
tools. Yeah, they
Yeah,
didn't give him the
and they didn't give
tools,
him the
bro.
time. They didn't give him
Mm,
the time that they gave to Arteta. They would have easily enjoyed the greatness that Unai brings to clubs had they given him the patience that he required. I mean, very few coaches at Arsenal have reached European finals, and
yeah.
he was one of those. Yes, he was beaten, but I,
Hmm.
I think I think he did enough in that season to warrant that he should stay. And the
And
only time
that,
Arteta's won, and the only time Arteta's won anything was with the squad that Arsenal fans call too old today.
yeah.
Those they were dead beats and whatever. That Unai had when he
Yeah.
was fired. Then Arteta came in, won the FA Cup from this Chelsea idiot Lampard. So from then, Arteta's never won anything. He's never been to a final actually.
Yeah.
Since then, never been to a
Yeah.
final. He lost all that experience that got him there. Changed the squad, made it young,
Hmm.
and ever since, all they have is we had a race with Man City. That is the only thing they have to their
Ah,
name, and
and
then we
that's
are in the
nonsense,
Champions
man.
League.
And
And that's nonsense.
you can't be like it's crazy, dog. Like uh, you can't be celebrating that, and then they call me too ambitious, dog, when I'm not pleased with certain results. It's
I
like
I
being used to living in a mansion and now you move back to the hood, dog.
I hate
Yeah,
it
man.
started last season at Chelsea. Fans would
Yeah,
gaslight some of us for having standards, for
dog.
having expectations to say, when did we start not having expectations? I mean, when just a few weeks ago when the coach was Tuchel, the expectations were so high. Now that the coach is
Dude,
Graham Potter, you
they
guys
low.
you're just happy with,
Hi.
yeah, the performance of this person. I was even
Mm,
saying to someone that the only thing Poch has done positively to the squad is increase their fitness levels, because last season
yeah.
apparently the fitness work wasn't great. The only thing
Hmm.
that Poch has done positively to the squad is increase their fitness level. Our team is very fit. People have lost weight. People look very good, conditioned nicely. We can play, long minutes and all of that. But as far as the things that I've already identified that we struggle with, Poch is not going to be the one to answer those questions. Poch will make us a decent team with time, but he's not going to be the one that gets us to that promised land. And I think had we gotten a coach that wants to win more than one that just gives it lip service, had we gotten a Julian Nagelsmann or a Lucho Enrique in, we we would see both things take place, the fitness as well as the progression in terms of the football that we play. Even though there was going to
100%.
be the period of uncomfortableness, I mean, we were saying this about PSG, that Lucho has gone into PSG and basically tried to teach these French players how to play football in a different way than anything they've ever known. That's not going to happen overnight. That's not going to happen quickly. They are having to apply themselves so differently to how they normally have to. Saying that Mbappe must play on the half turn instead of him playing as a free runner like a Rashford would. Saying I need you to link up, play. I need you to be dangerous in the half space between midfield, between defense and attack, especially to start counters. Because you can already run. If you can turn a defender, you're complete as an attacker. And that's all he's lacking. Instead of trying to go 1v1 all the time, try to pull a defender and then turn him and then beat him with your pace. That would better serve the team than you having to wait for the ball all the time.
100%.
That's him teaching Mbappe something he's never had to do in his entire career. He's been comfortable playing the role that he plays. So Kolo Muani, for example, how to be a more dynamic nine, not just a finisher who's be more dynamic. I want you to play the 9 as an 8 and a 10 who happens to be the first man at the 9. So you need to know how to play the position out of possession as well. When we don't have the ball, what is the 9 expected to do? What are the things you can do to remain active and to be useful to the team? Those are things that they don't know. Number 9s normally know that I'm supposed to receive all the time. I'm not serving anyone on the team. Those are some of the things that
100%.
Lucho's put into that team that are new, So it's going to take time. But I wouldn't have minded with a coach like him because he wants
100%.
total football.
Yeah.
You would have seen the progression of the team in every sense of the word. Right now, I'm happy with our build-up play. I think when we build up, we play with so much confidence. We are very comfortable on the ball. I saw us against Arsenal, for example. It was so easy to break lines. Arsenal would press us with like 6 men, and we would pass it straight out of them with no problem. I just think once we beat the press and we get to the final third, that's when our football just goes haywire. It doesn't show that there's a lot of drilling happening, even though those things can appear, in training vids and stuff. I just don't think there's a lot of details that are being drilled into how we attack. I watch Liverpool a lot, and when Liverpool attacks, you can see the details in how movement is made, in how the ball moves. The final third, you can see these guys are drilled in terms of how to find each other in the final third, how to make runs, when to make runs. It's almost telepathy sometimes.
And it's
look at Sobo's life, bruh. He sees it all. It almost like he's automatically in tune with the attack. Luis, Diaz, Nunes, it doesn't matter who you place in that team, they'll always make the right run. I'm not a fan of Gakpo. Everyone knows this.
Yeah, but hey, he does score though.
Still, yeah, and this is where the evidence of coaching helps, because even though we know that Gakpo doesn't have the right instincts, that the other guys have, but the coaching comes across because he will make the right decisions, because they're drilled into him to say, in this position, you do this, the ball is going to find you. When you're in this position, you make your run this way, the ball is going to find you. So they're never worried. And you never see Liverpool attackers make runs, make line breaking runs, and no one attempts to find them. It's almost as if there's that understanding as well. Klopp
Yep.
teaches them that when you see a run, when the run starts, you find it. That's important.
Dude.
And if it's late, you can see the frustration, because this is something that they are taught, that you have to make sure that it's on time. So if it's late, just like Salah loses his mind when they pass him too late, when he makes a line breaking run, because that's
true.
real. We haven't seen that evidence in the Chelsea team, and that's the frustrating thing for me. I think that's the biggest problem I have. I've been talking for the last 30 minutes.
I know it's cool. It's cool. It's therapy. I'm your therapist, and I'm writing down notes, Chief. Let's segue, dog. Let's segue. The reason why I just let you speak is because you're dropping so many gems. Okay, so I can't interrupt you, dog, when you're teaching me, you schooling me, dog. So yeah, dog. Let's segue to the big one. I think the fine. I mean, they say save the best for last. I think this. Yeah. We can discuss how the mighty Springboks did their thing, man. Did you, first questions before you even go in depth, bro? Did you believe that we were gonna defend this Rugby World Cup from the beginning of the tournament?
I'll be very honest. I believed we could get to the final. My biggest fear was meeting the All Blacks in the final, and that fear came true. So for me, the question was never if we were going to do well in the tournament. I believe that we were going to do well in the tournament. I just thought, yes, we beat New Zealand at Twickenham, but even in the way that we beat them, it's not a type of game or style of game that we have utilized effectively. That's starting quick, basically applying pressure on them very, very early in the game. And I think that one of the biggest misses as well was we had Malcolm Marx in that game. So our lineouts were amazing, So because you remember the first maul, I watched the highlights because you were watching it live. I think we were watching Pirates or something. But when we're watching Arsenal, I think they were playing on the Friday. That Friday was the first weekend of the Premier League, right?
Yeah, it was.
We're watching Arsenal. So when I watched the highlights, I realized the maul was strong. The quickness of our rack was very nice. And then we got the cards. There was an early yellow, and then there was a yellow that was upgraded to a red card, pretty similar to the way the
England.
the England the final went, with Sam Kane. Yeah, with Sam Kane getting the card. But overall, we were beating them in the moments, like the Kenan Moodley tries were against the run of play. It was New Zealand making errors and then us capitalizing from those errors. So it didn't feel like we were playing a game that was unbeatable as far as New Zealand is concerned, because all New Zealand would have done is fix their errors, and then they're able to play us. And the fact that we got to the final, I think, that to me, that wasn't enough. It was like, okay, now I need to see if we can beat these guys. Because ever since 95, these guys only beat us because of food poisoning, only...
Did they say that?
Yes, no, they had food poisoning. So apparently the Thursday before the final, the whole team was vomiting and the hambisisis. Apparently, apparently some staff at the hotel where they were staying, probably put something in their food. There are a lot of theories. There are a lot of theories about how that happened. So there are a lot of theories about what happened, but ultimately we won, and
Yeah.
they've always had that grudge because of that. They even don't like Ellis Park because of that,
Yeah.
So we've moved so many years, so many World Cups have taken place, and we've managed to avoid each other at this stage. So I think it was so poetic that after we both have three, in the bag, there
Yeah.
should come this moment where, it all comes to a head, and it's the
Hmm.
two of us fighting for number four. So yeah, I'm extremely proud, but I won't say
Yeah.
I was confident. I wasn't confident of beating New Zealand, Shem. I wasn't.
100%. I echo your sentiments. I had that fear in my heart that the All Blacks in fit. But when I factor in the conditions, bro, they played in our favor a lot. Because All Blacks don't knock on the ball, dog, a lot. Like in that game, they knocked the ball a lot. And then as well, I even told Luando in our stream last week that if we have a good start, because when I look at the times where we won in Bombela, and then even at Twickenham, it's because we had a very excellent start. And
Yeah,
then
I
from
agree.
there, you know what I mean? We capitalized. Shout outs to Andre Pollard, 100%. Have you ever heard of that guy?
13
Someone
out of 13.
13 out of 13, bro. That's hella impressive, dog. And for him, even in the final, because I remember his first kick, it went to the left a bit, bro. I was scared. I thought maybe he missed. Then the
Both
flags
his
were up. I
both,
was like, shit.
his
Yeah.
first two kicks, his first two
Yeah.
kicks were too close
Yeah.
to the left post. I was
100.
like, why
Hey,
is he kicking it like this? Like,
Fitz.
this is not the day to kill us. But then I
Hey,
realized
dude.
that it wasn't just rain, it was also
Mm.
the wind. So the reason both
Oh.
teams were kicking so much was because there was a huge wind. And this is why our drop
Hey,
goals were so bad
they
as
were
well.
terrible.
Because they were so terrible. Oh my God, they were so terrible.
Yo,
They were,
yo, yo.
they were, I was angry actually. But then I
Dude.
realized that we had to play the conditions. And I think
Yeah.
it was about who played the conditions best. I don't think, to be very honest with you, we played the conditions best. I
Yeah.
think I think we played the first half. In the first half, we played the conditions perfectly, and then we were
Yeah.
very strategic with our kicking. We ensured that we're not leaving points on the ground. We're not taking chances. We kick when the opportunity is there to kick, and then when because we lost Bongi so early, we also realized that our lineouts were not going to be a strength, which
Yeah.
which for me it changed the game a lot because New Zealand won a lot of
Woo.
lineouts. Retallick was
Dude.
owning. Retallick
Fitz.
and Retallick
Sam.
and yeah, they were
Whitelock. Nah.
owning.
And
No, not Sam
analysis cut.
Whitelock.
Which,
Sam came in the
which,
second half. It was Barrett.
bad.
Um,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Jordy.
So
Oh,
yeah,
one,
Jody. No, Jody's the center.
center.
Uh,
What's the other one? Hey,
so it's
Panini.
Bowden, it's Jody.
Scott
Who's the
Barrett.
big Scott?
Scott.
Yes,
Yeah,
it was
Scott
Scott.
Barrett.
Scott and Retallick were owning us on the lineouts because
Yeah.
um, Ulento wasn't getting a lot of height into his throws.
Yeah.
So it was easy because these guys only needed to cut off the receiver, and every time they cut off the receiver, they were able to get to the ball because the ball would come
Yeah.
straight to them. So they played us very well on the lineouts. They won a lot of our lineouts. So it was useless for us to try to kick for touch when it came to penalties in their territory. So it was better to kick for goal. So
Yeah.
we played well in the first half. But understand, in the second half, we didn't score a single point.
Yeah.
And
We
and then
didn't.
all we did was defend for our lives,
Yeah.
win a few very fortunate knock-ons.
Hey.
The knock-on by Adi Savea in the rolling mall.
Dude, yo, and I saw it. To be honest with
saw
you,
it.
I saw it, but I was like,
No,
let me
so
just,
so
yeah,
so we were at my wife's friend's place
Yeah.
in Centurion, and I remember when it happened, I said there was a knock-on in the mall, and the ref immediately after says during the phase, the first phase says no knock on. I'm like, there's no way. There's no knock on.
Yeah.
The ball hit the ground. It was a
Dude.
knock on. Surveyor knocked that ball on, and it continued and continued. I even believe that their try was a
Yeah.
forward pass.
Yeah.
I believe that. Like, you can't tell me otherwise. It was a forward pass, and
That
it
one.
just so happened to hit the ground, and it was still
Yeah.
forward in any way, but it was a forward pass. But yeah, it counted. They missed the conversion, which for me was the game. But
Yeah.
I'll tell you, because I always say that these close games you win in moments. You know when we won that game. When Arenza made that try-saving tackle in the first half.
When, dude, I thought, Ioane was gone there, bro. I was like,
I said to those guys,
try.
I said to those guys, that is a World Cup saving try. That try is going to be spoken about the same way we speak about Cheslin's block against
Yeah.
France. That try it changed so much in the game, because
Yeah.
with that try, I'm dead sure New Zealand goes into the half with a lead. If New Zealand goes into the half with a lead and they play the second half like they did, with the pace that they played, with 14 men, and we were
Yeah.
getting yellows, so the numbers would balance, like
H
Cheslin and
fits.
Sia's
And
yellows.
see,
It basically killed us, because we were trying to make the numbers work for us. And New
Yeah.
Zealand, I respect them for basically trusting their way of playing, because
Yeah.
they play the ball movement game, and they stuck to it in the second half. They were like, we're not going to kick. We're going to play our style of rugby. We're going to chip when we need to chip. There was this clever chip that it wasn't Ioane that played it. That Barrett played. Bowden played
Loyal foot
in our 22.
cheap.
Yo,
Yeah.
in our 22. It was so beautiful, bruh. And
Yeah.
I don't know who. Oh, it was Willemse.
Willemsa.
He was very
Then when
quick
he
to recover.
intercepted it. Hey.
Yeah, he was quick to recover. It was so clever. I'm like, hey guys, New Zealand is a problem in the second half. Like, if we survive this, that's something else. Their scrum was perfect.
Dude.
Perfect.
We didn't even win
They
a
were
single
well
penalty, dog.
Nix.
Dude. It was always dude, it was incredible, man.
And the fact that we had to rely on an undersized, because Ulento is a flanker, to be quite honest. Who's the guy who was playing number 2, who was playing hooker? The 37-year-old man.
That one, man. Dion Faree.
Yeah, Dion.
Dion
Dion is a flanker,
dude,
who's basically taken a position that wasn't his. They knew we only have one hooker. That's why they also went for Bongi, the English. The way they were going for Bongi.
Yeah.
The way we played, to me was more character. Just like Ahiso said, it was miraculous. I mean, Peter Steph Totoy,
dude. Yes.
He hit this one tackle,
dude,
to Barrett in the backfield, where they had an overlap, and Barrett saw him coming, was trying to pass, didn't move the ball, ne? And he hit him so hard, bruh. The whole stadium went woo. I was like, yo, this guy has been hitting with this force the whole day, and I feel like that was what was discussed. What was discussed was that we are going to hit them hard, because even Sia's tackles were ferocious. Malherbe's tackles were ferocious. Ketzoff, ferocious. Like, we were tackling like crazy. Ox, when he came on, ferocious tackles. We were trying to bring pain to them, absolute pain, and it worked in some moments. But the toughness New Zealand has, it's amazing, man. And this is why I'm so happy the Southern Hemisphere had the final, to show these guys that this idea of soft rugby that you guys have, where you think just because you move the ball, you have to play soft. New Zealand actually matched us pound for
Yeah.
pound and could have
Ubani,
easily won that game had they
that number
gotten one of their
11,
kicks
man.
right. Had
Even
they
that
gotten
number
one,
11, man. That is
my
number
man.
11. Italia. Yo. Hey, Italia is
Talia is
a
half South
ball
African.
carrier. Are you for real?
Yeah, Talia's dad is South African.
Eh, eh, eh.
Talia's house is half South African. Well, he's got some South African gene apparently. I didn't verify this information.
Umxhosa.
I'm sure Utalia.
Yeah, Italia, ne? Italia, dog.
Yo, he was so
You
good.
tried,
He was so
dog.
good. But I wanna do honorable mention. So first of all, honorable mention to Peter Steph.
Man.
Like had a blinder of a game, one of the all-time games ever. Eben was very quiet in that game. But I guess it was the nature of the game itself. We were not able to utilize him very well. I think Mostert was great in tackles. Mostert is always great in tackles. Tackled amazingly. I think Sia was brilliant in that game.
Yeah, he was.
Even the yellow card was unfortunate. His tackle was basically towards the ball, but because the player's head moved forward, the heads knocked against each other. So that's a yellow card. Fine.
Yeah.
But he had a blinder of a game. Malherbe, France. Man, I'm gonna miss that guy. We had one of the best forwards in rugby there. Even Steven didn't have those erratic type of games he normally has, where he's all over the place and he's getting penalties and all of that. Brilliant. Big ups to Dion Fourie, man. Coming in the game like that early, due to an injury, and then having to play the whole game. That was brilliant. He struggled at hooker, I won't lie. He struggled in the lineouts, but in the second half, he cleaned it up nicely. We didn't get a single penalty from the lineout, that indicated that he threw the ball sideways or whatever. So even though there were errors there, but he was still solid enough to throw straight. So that's fine.
This was
our eighth man. Oh my God.
Ooh,
Visa,
who came on second? Not Vermeulen. Dwayne Vermeulen.
Vermeulen was amazing. Oh my word, he was amazing in that game.
And then Vermeulen is a seasoned vet, bro. He's like 37.
Yeah.
Amazing
in that game. Faf.
Faf. That ankle tap, dog. Yay, dog! I was 5 punches. That guy was gone, bro. If he didn't tackle him, there was already an overload.
There was already an overload. Willemse was covering, but it was 1v1, and he's bigger than Willemse. So that ankle tap, it was so important. Henry.
Henry, dog. Ice in his veins.
No words. No words necessary. It was an amazing game. Cheslin, the high ball.
Dude. We were very good. We were very good this time around.
I don't think we had one knock on, I think, from one of his high balls. Only one. And it wasn't even like a knock on from him. He knocked it on because he was challenging for the ball. And then that's how the knock on happened. And even his yellow card was a try-saving deliberate knock-on. The tackle that he made to knock on that ball, it was an overlap. And as a winger, he was the last man. If he doesn't hit that ball, New Zealand has two guys on the wing to receive. So it was a try.
It was. And even Kwacha, the turnovers.
From that Cheslin tackle where Cheslin picked up.
You see? Dude.
Arensa, that tackle he made on Ioane, brilliant.
Dude.
I will never have anything bad to say about Jesse Creel. Jesse
Dude.
Creel is one of the hardest playing centers I've ever watched in my life. I'll never have
Yo.
anything bad to say about Willemse. He's been brilliant the whole tournament.
Yeah.
Who played 12? How am I forgetting 12?
Dialante.
Dame, man. Dame didn't have a great game. I think
Mm.
Dame was probably spent. I would have played not I would have played Esterhazen.
It says in there.
I think Dame was he was done. He was done. He was so
Tired.
tired. He was so tired.
Even when you got up every tackle, you could see
Yo,
the
you
energy.
could see he was
there.
battling, he was struggling. He was really struggling. And he's been playing that hard since the knockouts. So I feel like he needed some form of rotation. You know, I think our bench played well. Visa was amazing when he came on. Waka is always a super sub.
Always. And he
So he
kills
was
it.
brilliant. Ox was brilliant. Koch was brilliant. I think towards the end, our hooker was feeling it, and as a result, we started to lose some of the the scrums. So the last scrum, I want because I don't think people mention this about Faf. So the last scrum, when we set in the last scrum, I think there was 37 seconds left or something like that. Faf deliberately doesn't put the ball in play. He realizes we are losing, and he hangs on to the ball to force a reset. But the time has already elapsed. So I think by the time the scrum reset, there was about 7 seconds left. And I think I was thinking to myself, this is so brilliant, because even that scrum we lost. We lost that last scrum.
Yeah, we did. We did, but fortunately,
we were able to get the ball out quickly. Because had we continued to lose on that scrum, we were likely gonna get a penalty.
Dude,
so
and that was gonna hurt.
Last possession of the game.
Yo.
So the fact that we were able to get the ball out quickly and then run one phase at least, and then we got a penalty because they were not releasing in the tackle to end the game. That was all Faf de Klerk. That was Faf de Klerk being very, very good at assessing the situation, because that was a very bad situation we found ourselves in. It was very precarious, and what I liked the most though was the scrummer for New Zealand, the ginger. He saw what Faf did, and he was trying to tell Wayne Barnes that, but why isn't he playing the ball? Like, why are you allowing him not to play the ball? They said a long time ago. But they have that discretion that, you can hold on to the ball if you see that either the scrum is going to collapse or something. And he saw that there's no way we're going to beat these guys. The scrum is too powerful. We are too tired. It's going to collapse, and it collapsed, So we played a great game, man. We played a great game. I couldn't have asked for a better final. I still think our game against France was probably the best game of rugby I've watched. In the tournament. The game against England wasn't that great. It was a lot of kicking, scrum penalties. It was a lot of stop-start, But the game against New Zealand was definitely one of those nerve-wracking ones. But the fact that 3 points is what got us from the quarterfinal all the way to the Webb Ellis Cup.
Dude,
3 points.
It's remarkable.
A point in each game is never going to be repeated again. Not in the history of this game, ever. And no one is ever going to have a tougher path to a
I was about to say, bro, you've taken the words right out of my mouth. That run was incredibly tough. Pool of death, dog. We narrowly, dude. And we narrowly lose to Ireland.
Yeah, pool of death. We play the hosts, who are favorites. Then we play our previous finalists, who are also favorites. And then we play New Zealand, who are also favorites. We played the
Dude.
favorites in every round, basically, because we
Dude.
played the favorites in Ireland, we
Yeah.
played the favorites in France, played the favorites in England, played the favorites in all these
Dude.
other teams got a rest. New Zealand played Argentina,
Dude.
you know,
Rest.
so they rested. They only played Ireland, then Argentina, then played us. So they had a rest game. They were fresh.
Yeah.
We weren't fresh at all.
At all, Chief. At all.
All.
Dr. Us was 0 to 100. It's like, yo, when will this end, bruh? And credit to the Giants, fam, for just staying, for hanging in there more than anything.
Yeah.
Because
Because when Bongi went down, it was bad. When Cheslin went, I was like, nah, they coming back. We're playing the last 8 minutes with 14 men just like them, and they have looked like they don't have a shortage anyway, you know, in the way that they played us. They've dominated territory, they've dominated possession, you know, they've been so brilliant. What a game.
Yeah. And just in closing, this for me personally.
So you do know World Rugby is from Ireland, right?
Yeah.
The head offices. Okay.
Yeah.
So according to World Rugby, the guys that are serial quarterfinalists are better than the guys that are consistent finalists. Remember, this Springbok group have not been beaten in any major tournament since the last World Cup, Lions Tour, and this World Cup. In fact, even Ireland beating us was sort of fluky because of Manny's boot.
Yeah.
You know, because if our kicking was fine, Manny and Faf, if our kicking was fine, we beat Ireland, we would have beaten all of these teams.
Yeah.
The Springbok hate is what it is, man. I don't know a 15 that is better than Willemse. I don't know. For example, the tight head, Malherbe is better than him.
Yep.
That tight head was owned by who's this? By Boks, and was owned by the Ginger as well.
Yeah. And as well, even flanks, bro. Peter Steph.
Really? Yes, I don't understand that. Peter Steph at flank is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And then center, I'm not too mad because we haven't had continuity. I think the one thing about South Africa is our team has sort of played with depth this season. You know, everyone has played. So at center, we've rotated. Lukhanyo played for most, and then he got injured. Then Esterhuizen was playing with Dame. Then Dame was out. And then Dame was playing with Jesse, who just made a comeback. You know, who is the one that ended up being our outside flanker for the rest of the World Cup. So if maybe we could have kept Esterhuizen playing throughout, maybe. If Lukhanyo didn't get hurt, maybe. And the fact that Marks also got injured, you know, I understand why at hooker we don't have someone there. Because I think in terms of our front row, we have the best tight head and hooker. I don't think there's an argument there. And then Cheslin for me is the best winger. Is the best left winger in rugby. So these things don't mean anything. Adi Savea is the best eighth man. And I think Adi Savea has been the best eighth man since 2019 World Cup. Every single year, he is the best eighth man in rugby. No one comes close. I agree with Bandi Aki. Bandi Aki is the best 12 in rugby. I'm not sure about 13. I really don't know.
Nah, me too. I don't know.
I really don't know. And then right wing. Hey, that's a very complicated position in rugby, especially in world rugby, because I think Ioane is good.
Yeah.
But is he really the best? Right wing is something else. You know, we also have had a massive rotation at right wing.
Yeah.
You know, we'd play Moody and we'd play Arensa. It always changes. So it's difficult to get consistency that side because it's the open side. It's the side they kick to the most.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But guy, I see Vale yo.
yeah, see Violet dog.
I see Vale. Thank you so much for availing yourself. This was an amazing episode, okay?
No stress,
man.
dog.
Learned a lot as per usual. Yeah.
Sure.
And guys, please like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. Put a brother
Please.
on. Please, young fella. This is Crazy Sport, and we are. Peace. Sure, buddy.